we have a Navara P300, and the key you get with these things, let's get it out of my pocket, it's a bit bloody awkward on the Tenica model. It comes with this, but to actually lock you've got to squeeze the bloody key out of it. It's a bloody nightmare. Anyway, so what I've done is we've got an Eagle self-locking kit. So it's lighting out on us. There we go. And what we're going to do is fit that. First, I've got 10 of these screws on the back where the mechanism is, and we have to take these, sorry about it going out of focus, just have to bear with us, take these off. Okay, now I've got it off, I've put it in the back, out of the way. You know, hopefully damn door won't hit it when I shut it, which shouldn't do. Okay, so basically here's the kit, the gubbins of it that go in the back. Here's your instructions. You can see what it's saying is basically we need to unclip, that, which is that bit, and then we need to take that yellow bit off there, which is on this bit is pink, and replace it with actually the yellow bit up there, and the actuator length here, which actually sits the way around, there we go, that bit goes to that yellow bit that we're just going to put in. So what I'm going to start with is unclipping that, and I'll probably unclip that anyway, that bit. And then I'll take the 2 screws out here and there, because they form the basis for holding the actual framing that holds your actuator. Okay, so just bear with us while I do that. Okay, so I've unclipped that and I've unclipped that. I'm just about to take that plastic bit off. Now when I did the last car that we have, it was a pain in the arse, but actually this one's come off real easy. Sweet. Okay, so I'm going to put the yellow bit on there, and then I'm actually just going to strap that down into those 2 bolts which are there and there. Okay, when I first took these 2 bolts out on the first vehicle I did, I was thinking this whole mechanism underneath was going to, you know, the whole thing was just going to pop out, but it doesn't, it just sits there, which is sweet. So it saves a lot of hassle with trying to, you know, do things with just 2 hands. So what I tend to do is just put them there because they're going straight back on. Okay, there we go, actuator set up. I'm just going to put those bolts back in, and that's the whole mechanism should just sit fairly secure. Okay, so now we've screwed that in, there and there, it's fairly secure, it ain't going anywhere. I'm going to put this back on, because that's what the kind of the instructions say, and then I'm going to put the new replacement for the, what was on mine, a pink bar holder, which is basically a clip to hold this and this together, so just there. So it's a deeper clip, I'll get it out and show you in a sec. There you go, that's your clips. As you can see, the pink one's the old one, that one's the new one, and the reason you can see it's much deeper and bigger, and the reason for that is so it fits in down here. Okay, that's the yellow clip in, it's the old pink clip, which can go in the box. Ta-da. Okay, so I've reassembled that on, and you can see the way the locking mechanism works. You can see it, that's you opening it, it's obviously unlocked at the moment. What the actuator does is when you hit the central locking, it pulls this back, the bar there. You can see the motor's tucked underneath, there he is, yeah. So now when it's in that position, it goes up and down, but obviously this and that don't move sideways to unlock and pull that. Okay, now don't panic, everything's going to be cool. That's the hard, it's not really the hard bit, the hard bit's coming up. Anyway, so that's the basic mechanical fit done. So what we've got to do now is connect onto here and bring it out here in a tidy manner. Now what I did on the last vehicle I slung it through here, which is an absolute pain in the arse, and I'm going to do the same again. Took me 10 minutes to do it, and what I'm going to do this time is put a bit of Vaseline on the end of it so it just hopefully slides through a little bit. I didn't use that last time, but I'm going to use a bit of Vaseline on it. It's harmless, and then I can clean it at the end. Okay, here's your cable. That wasn't long enough for the last vehicle because of the route I took. Hopefully it will be this time, but if not, you just need some 2-core flex, and just remember what you're doing with regards to cable colours at the end when you snip them and connect. If you're connecting anywhere, I'd connect up in the engine bay, which is why I'm going from the back forwards, because it's an easier place to put the joint in, because generally it's up near the fuse box. You can hide it out of the way and you can give it a good bit of protection from moisture, whereas under the car, yeah, it's just not worth thinking. Okay, so I'll pause off again and start fitting on. Okay, I took these two out, and I just point out while I'm here is that this is actually connected and strapped to the cable. You can see it there. Okay, so don't yank it too much really, because you know yeah, see it attached. Okay, and I'll just put a bit of Vaseline on and put it through, and I'll let you know if it's easy to do than the last one. Okay, cord gone through here, out the other side. Didn't have any Vaseline, so I used PCF e-spray, just that basic stuff, silicone lubricant. I'll tell you what, I went through really quick. The first time I did it, it was about 10 minutes prattling around. This time it's gone through brilliant. Okay, that's the rest of it fed through, and what I did was I sprayed it with the lubricant and it just slips through simply. Like I say, you know, it's, you live and learn, don't you? That last one where I took ages doing it. So I'm just going to feed this back through here, connect up, seal up. I'm not going to tape up yet because I want to check everything's working first before I seal off. That's always a good idea, otherwise you have to start prattling around again at the end. Okay, simple rule on here: when you do get here, obviously I'm feeding it underneath, red to red, black to blue, that's the way they're doing it. Okay, connected up, red to red, black to blue. I'm just going to pop it underneath gently. I will mechanically stick it down actually with some real decent sticky tape I've got, sort of like a carpet tape, sticks to anything, and that'll just hold it down because it's going to be here a few years, so you don't really want it raving around in the back. As you can see, it's all sort of, you know, works. So I'm now going to put these two back in either side, feed that through first obviously, and then I'm going to pick up underneath the vehicle. Okay, that's that fitted back where it should be, all neat and tidy. Just going to shut the lid. Okay, and we now have lots of cable underneath the car, which probably isn't enough with route I'll take to get around to the front. Now, where's it gone? In the Eagle catalogue, instruction book. Eagle very kindly tell you how to feed the cable along. That's very kind of them. What they don't tell you is the most vital thing is how the hell to get it in the bloody compartment, but we'll tackle that when we get to the front. Okay, engine bay land. What I tend to do is whenever I do anything on car, I tend to try and keep it in this type of stuff, just sort of protects the cable. You get a measly little piece with the kit. Personally, go for something like 3 metre length of it, wherever it's coming, where it's exposed. Personally put it in that stuff and then wrap it. When you then strap that, you see, to the mounting point wherever you are, it's not crushing the cable, it's protecting it. It's, you know, just, I don't know why they didn't give a longer length of this bloody stuff, but you can get it from most places. The stuff I used was off an old pond cable. I had stacks of it, so I used some of that. Now it's tricky when you get to the engine bay on this one, this shit brown model of my brother's. God, we'll go for this colour. I can't believe I wanted this originally, colour wise. See that grommet there? That's how you get in. Now that's the one bit they do not tell you how to get there. I was puzzling this for ages until I got a Navara net joined up and then found a solution. So basically what you do is aim for roundabout battery land. I've strapped it to the metal structure on here just for now, just to hold it there, and then where I'm going to go through is that grommet. Sorry, let me just refocus. It's just down here around the back. Difficult to come off. When I took it off the first time, it slipped behind the fire protection wall. So what I recommend you do is, if it does, I'll just go and grab something. I'll show you. I've left it over here. This is a standard sort of grommet you'd use in electrical. I actually think it's better than the one that's supplied with it. Gives you a better seal around the sides, exactly the right size. Make an hole, push your cable through. If you want, put a bit of, a bit of silicone on it, just to keep stop any water ingress. But it's that high up in the engine bay, it should be alright with what it is. But that's far better than the grommet Nissan supplied, and it actually bloody works. So I'm going to do that and then feed it through that hole. But first of all, I'm going to wash my hands because I ain't got any gloves on, and take the carpet up on the firewall bit, and I'll do that in a sec. Yeah, focusing. Right, okay, we're going to take this strip up here. That exposes a quarter panel here. We take that off, and then we pull the carpet out, and we have to pull a little bit of the firewall behind out, and then we're going to fish that cable down through. Now the cable's not long enough, so I'm going to leave the connection in the engine bay. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off. The way it comes off is there's a press stud just down here, and the other bit's there, and it kind of just came off by. Alright, quick tip. Put your thing under there, lift him up. That's him out. Sorted. Go and put that somewhere, it will not get scratched. Okay, if you're on a hill like me, this is time you want to get someone at kids to hold the door open, but they're on bloody Xbox, so they're not going to. So, quarter panel here. This is a case of just reviving the bastard. There's a press stud here, and then there's a press stud further back right at the top. Now when you put it back in, that is a pain in the arse to do, but you just have to be patient with it and just don't pull the firewall out too much, or else you'll end up in my mess yesterday. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this vertically this way, well, horizontally this way, and these press studs should come out. I'm not going to be able to do it one-handed though. Okay, I've got this quarter panel to there. I just realised I should have really pulled the black carpet out behind first. It made it a lot easier yesterday, because this last panel pin up here, right at the top of this back quarter, yeah, it's a bit stuck in there, and I don't really want to scratch and rive up here anyway, so I'm just going to pull black carpet out a wee bit. Okay, black carpet pulled out a wee bit, and that makes this come out a little bit easier. Yay, there it is, quarter panel out. Okay, so that makes that a bit better. Now this down here, that's what you're aiming for with your cable, and behind this carpet there's your firewall and sound insulation. Now I wouldn't really rive that out too much. What I'm going to do is pull a little bit out and then just slip a new cable down, because the one Eagle Givers isn't long enough. Now where we're going to on here is actually, where are we going? We're going to the beige and silver and the light blue and silver. Do not go to that one, that is the wrong colour. That is the right colour, light blue and silver. Okay, now what I've found is testing that it's actually linked to the, on the right hand drive model that this one is, the rear near side door, which is basically just behind me. That's what I found on tracing cable. I don't know how I was tracing it, but I had one of these sort of fancy traces and I thought, oh, I'll just see where it goes anyway. And that's where you're heading to. And then really, personally, normally I would have soldered it on, done a proper solder, neat and nice and tidy, but I'm just going to scotch it with the little clippers, which you'll see in a bit. I'm going to take this off, and then once it's all tested right at the end, I'm going to wrap it back up again so it's all neat and tidy and it isn't going to move anywhere. Okay, focus again. So you're heading just down there, and for that I'm going to use a fresh cable and I'm going to connect up and join up in the engine bay because I'm just lacking an extra metre of cable in here. Okay, let's get that focused on. There we are, going through that hole, and what I've already done is I've got one of those electrical grommets that actually fits the hole, all ready to go. I'll just slide it down. What I have done, when I first fed it through, it was painful as the first time I did it, down past that firewall, because it's quite, you know, it's quite sticky stuff really, I suppose. But so what I did was coated it with a good old silicone lubricant from Alfred's, because I'm top quality, and it's gone straight through that hole. Whoa, yeah, back in focus. Through that hole like a nice greasy stick up a dog's ass. I'm really pleased with that. I'm going to go inside and hopefully I won't even need to put firewall out to get to it. Okay, so here we are inside. That pulsing's me, shouldn't really be pulsing like that. It's my LED head torch. I always have one when I'm doing this type of things. So what I've got is a firewall back here. So what I'm going to do, last time I pulled it out and it was a sod to get around the back of here again. So what I've done is I've fished that cable down and I'm just going to fish around the back. If I have to pull it out, I'll put it straight back in. Hopefully I'll get away with it. Pulsing again. Anyway, I'll give it a go. Alright, didn't quite work. The battery must be going flat on this LED. So what I did was I pulled a bit of the firewall out. I'm going to pull enough through so I've got enough to play with, and I'm going to put firewall back immediately and it's out of the way. I don't have to wrestle with the bloody thing at the end. Okay, oh yeah, a bit more through, trim to right length. So what we've got really here is, as I've showed you before, is you're looking at this beige one here, which is a bit of silver dabs on, and this blue one. Don't do the turquoise one. It isn't clear in the printout they're giving you, but it is clear when they tell you there. But you know, if you're not careful, you might confuse that turquoise one here for light blue, because it is kind of light blue, particularly in certain lights. So it's these two here that we're going to go to. So on this one, you're going to go with the positive is going to go to the light blue and silver, which is that one, and the negative is going to go to the beige and silver. Okay. So I'm just going to put these little scotch things on that they give you, which what they do is, did they actually show you a picture of it done? I might look, they don't. No. Brilliant. So what I'm using is some of these this time, called Scotch locks. What I tend to do is, if it's positive I'll use the red, if it's negative I'll use the blue. Just makes it easiest, so if you come back later you're a little bit confused, you know you're following some sort of logic. They give you two yellow ones on the kit, or is it, no, they give you two blue ones on the kit, but I'm just going to use mine and just get on with it. Normally I would solder this, but I'm not today. Okay, quick word of warning. I've used PTFE type spray. It's electrically insulating, just be aware of that. So I've got some alcohol. Okay, where was I? Right, where was I? Dog's just tried to go apeshit and he's a really cuddly little thing. Okay, bit of that with some alcohol on. Clean it off, because elsewise you'll be coming back scratching your head later on wondering why you don't get electrical connection. Okay, Scotch locks on. Now I'm going to go back to the engine bay and just pull a little bit of this back and then actually connect up to the other cable, and then we'll have a dry test. Okay, so what I've done, I've connected back up in the engine bay because there wasn't quite enough cable for me, the route I took. What you don't want to forget is what I did first time is I've got to plug this back in. So plugging back in, and then we're ready for a first dry test. But first of all, what I would suggest you do is just mechanically test what you've done on the rear. So I'm just going to nip round to the back and we'll do a quick mechanical test. So what we're trying to do is get this actuator, it's located down here, to actually move this effectively now back, so that when you do it, it's locked. Now at the moment the vehicle's unlocked, so what I'm going to do is push it to the unlock position, just in case it makes a difference. Now what I suggest you do actually is just lock, because you've been playing with the cables, and just check the doors are actually locking. What I found was, my first time, that they didn't, and that's because I had a cable out and knocked it. So yeah, they do. Now let's just test the mechanical here again. Right, so we're going to unlock it. Hear that big thunk. Okay. Now the door's open. There you are. You can see it moving. There you go. It's now technically locked. The thing's moving around. It's quite windy here and I'm doing it on a slope, which isn't advisable. Unlock, lock, and you can see now it's functioning. That is the lock position. Put it in the unlock position. There we go. Now what if I hadn't done that mechanical thing at the beginning? What would have happened? I think we'll be alright. So now it's locked but the doors are unlocked. There we are. Back in, so you're alright if you do make that mistake. Right, so that's it's done. It's working. Now the cover we are getting on the back on this one is it's got central locking in all three windows, and it does actually lock the rear boot, but I don't think it'll be as secure as a proper lock on the boot. Okay, just something to add to here. Oh yeah, is how noisy this rear one is. If you notice that it bends, just watch that, it bends. Now when I put my finger under here, when I want to hold in the camera, it's actually pretty tight to that metal behind and it does hammer your finger. That's what the noise is. So just listen to this. And I'm just going to put some foam behind it, which is off piping. I reckon it'll just go dead quiet. Look how noisy that is. Okay, got a bit of that foam behind it. It's just bloody pipe foam really. Right, here we go. Listen to this. That's a lot quieter. This is a bloody thud on metal. That's something else that Eagle need to look at. Obviously this is quite bendy, so as the shock goes back, it bends on it. A bit of padding behind it, guys, would be a good idea.